Okay, so this is what I was talking about when you leave extra on the corners and sides of your quilt. When you want to do the corner, that way you have an extra amount of fabric to hold your quilt in place, and that way you can stitch the corner section. So I have this section stitched, and I'm going to move my hoop again. So we're going to just move it up a little bit to get the seam line, the corner seam line here, and we're going to stitch the bottom so it stays steady, and then we'll stitch everything in here. Sorry. So we'll stitch everything in the center then. So just press it down and tighten the little bolt, and there you have it. Okay, so that's not a very good video. Here we are again. So I have it in my hoop, and we're going to do a little bit more stitching. So I'm going to turn it down so you can see the quilt. And what I usually do is I stitch down the edge first when I'm on an edge line. That way it's secure and I can take out all the pins. Well, it's pretty secure anyway because of the hoop, but I just like to have the edge line stitched. Sometimes if it has any puckering in it, or I'll smooth it out and then I'll stitch from the top and then go work my way down. That way if there's anything puffy or puckered, it will kind of work itself out. And as you see, I stitched on my machine when I was piecing it. I put a zigzag stitch along the edge so that it doesn't fray, because it will fray when you're moving it around, and it still frays a little bit, but it holds the seam line in place for the most part, so it doesn't fall apart. So I'm not real particular on the edge stitch. I mean, I try to do a nice job, but since it's going to be covered up by the binding, you don't have to be real particular on your stitches here, because you're going to cover up this zigzag stitch also, and that's where I'm actually stitching, is in the zigzag area, just to hold it in place. And that way it's easier to put your binding on, because it's holding 3 layers together. Now, there's not a whole lot of design right here on this particular area of the border, but I will go around each one of these. I'm not sure if I'll do any other types of design in here or not. I'll see what it looks like. I might do a little bit more stitching. We'll see. Sometimes I stitch it whatever's in the pattern first, and then when I'm done with all that, I might come back and add some more. You can always do that. It's not like a big deal. You can move your hoop back around. So I hope y'all are enjoying the videos. I mean, some of you said you are, and I appreciate your comments. So, you know, if there's anything you want to ask, feel free to ask. Sometimes I might not cover everything. So if there's something you can think of that I didn't explain, then let me know. So I'm going to put some more thread on my needle because I was getting a little bit short here. It's nice not to make your thread line too large because it wants to knot, especially, I don't know, this heavier thread, it seems to want to knot, get little knots in it, and then I have to stop and pull the little knots out to continue. But, so here I'm going to just take out my pins that I have holding the layers together because I don't need them since I have that stitched down. All right. I'm just going to start here around this little bow. Oop. That one pulled straight through. So I go between the layers, and then here's my little knot. And I just pull it so that it goes between the layers and it's locked in place. And I take a stitch to kind of anchor it so it doesn't pull when I'm stitching it. It'll anchor the stitch down. I just go around the outside. These are tiny little bows, so I don't get real particular with the little stuff. I usually will do more detail on the bigger things. But the cheater quilts are kind of nice. You don't have to piece them together, and if you want to make a quilt quickly, usually I only put a border on them. Sometimes if they're made right, I don't even put a border on them because they'll have their own border. But if you want to make them a little bigger or add a little bit of your own design, you can add a border also. But they're all pre-printed with a design on them. And then you just stitch them how you see you want to stitch them. You don't have to stitch every little piece on them. It's whatever you want to cover or make stand out, I should say. So here I did the bow, if you can see it very well. I just go underneath, tie it off. So it has it looks a little puckery, but once I do them all, you know, it's good. This is the back side. Can't see it very well, but you know, if you want to make it stand out more, just use a plain piece of material and your design will stand out more so on your back side. But I did want to show you this part where I did the little flowers. Some of them are done. There's a few that aren't right now. That's as far as I got. And then I did all the border. This is the border. It's upside down, but I did all the flowers and the sheep. And then there's little bees and butterflies at the top, and I did those. I'm going to keep working on my quilt, and you guys keep working on yours, and let me know what you're working on. Tell me what the designs are, or what pattern you've used, or what quilting stencils you're using. Just leave me a few comments. All right, keep quilting and have fun. We'll see you next time.